to take a course to become a permanent makeup artist, for now just for eyebrows. Why did I decide to take this course? After all, I'm already a lash lamination specialist. I even teach others. And well, it would seem I could just keep teaching and that's it. But here you basically have to start from scratch and go through the whole process again, practicing the skill, building a client base, just attracting clients. Well, you might wonder why bother if I've already gone through all of this with lash lamination. Actually, I am absolutely not giving up on lash lamination at all. I will definitely continue working diligently in this exciting and promising field. But first and foremost, what guided me was the immense popularity of the procedure and the substantial potential for income. The opportunity for growth in this field, and I realized that in lash lamination there's a ceiling, and I've simply reached it. 6 years ago I chose the field of lash lamination based on one important criterion. That was how easy it was to get started with the procedure. In other words, the training was inexpensive and the materials were inexpensive. Less than 100,000, you have a new profession. Now, I've opted for permanent makeup for a different reason. Here, the entry is hard. It's probably the most expensive entry in the beauty industry if we are talking about procedures that don't require a medical degree. But the growth prospects and income potential in the field of permanent makeup are dozens of times higher than in the field of lamination. Eyelashes. So yes, the main reason why I chose to expand my knowledge and the services I offer is the opportunity to increase my income, to grow my audience, because I also want to blog about this topic, just like I do with lamination and now with permanent makeup as well. Right now, I've chosen to take training in only one area of permanent makeup. It's eyebrows, which I think is the most in-demand area for permanent makeup. Why did I decide to do it this way? Because there are courses that last, for example, a week, and in them you cover everything at once. Eyebrows, lips, and the lash line. I decided to do it this way so I could study each area more thoroughly. Right now, I'm taking a course on eyebrows. In the future, I plan to take a course on lips. By the way, let me immediately share my position on this, specifically regarding working with clients. Because many people often mistakenly think that if, for example, I'm currently studying some specific beauty procedure, then my professional work is strictly limited only to directly working with individual clients. Let's take me as an example, okay? Right now, I'm diligently studying the intricate art of permanent eyebrows. First and foremost, I deeply understand that permanent makeup, this exciting new field, will allow me to reach an even wider and more diverse audience, primarily because permanent makeup is a much broader and more encompassing topic. There's also immense creative potential here for compelling content creation. I'm not even primarily focused on working with individual clients, although of course the potential earnings from dedicated clients in the permanent makeup niche can be very, very good and highly rewarding. And as for further development, of course, I'm now thinking about my own studio. I won't say that's going to happen in the near future, definitely not, because, well, I won't burden you with the details, but I am thinking about it maybe in the next few years. And right now, while I am currently here in Moscow, I've made appointments at Dwar's renowned beauty salon, Betyasyan, Dilara, Aiza, and several other truly great salons. There's also the new agent Rose salon, which is getting a lot of views on Reels thanks to its service. I'm visiting these places to see how studios operate, because I understand that in a permanent makeup studio, where they also offer permanent makeup removal, that's actually a very promising business. And so the training day has arrived. It turns out I don't actually live in Moscow, so we just rented an apartment for a while. At first we thought, wow, what a great apartment. It's so bright, beautiful, and spacious. There are 3 rooms here, but you can already hear it, right? It turned out no air conditioner, and right outside the window, a little courtyard. If so, that would be just perfect. Our apartment faces the highway. Right here on the ground floors, there are tons of different little shops. By the way, they were incredibly thoughtful and attentive, providing me with a refreshing glass of water, which was much appreciated after all the intense discussions we've been having. It was a clear, cool, and perfectly chilled glass of water, served in a pristine, elegant glass. Truly a small but significant gesture of hospitality that made me feel very comfortable and well cared for. This simple act of kindness allowed me to take a brief moment to rehydrate and gather my thoughts before we continued our in-depth exploration of the subject matter. And speaking of our discussions, we have already delved into a substantial amount of theoretical knowledge, covering a wide array of foundational principles and advanced concepts. We've meticulously explored the intricate details of various theoretical frameworks, examining their origins, their applications, and their implications across different scenarios. Our journey through the theoretical landscape has been quite extensive, encompassing not just the basic tenets, but also more nuanced and complex aspects of understanding and critical analysis. We've dissected numerous hypotheses, analyzed various models, and synthesized a considerable body of academic literature, ensuring a comprehensive grasp of the subject. The sheer volume of information we've processed and the depth of our theoretical engagement have been truly remarkable, laying a very solid groundwork for any practical applications or further advanced studies we might undertake. Indeed, the amount of theoretical ground we've managed to cover is quite impressive, demonstrating our commitment to a thorough and rigorous understanding of the topic at hand. We have meticulously built a robust intellectual foundation, ensuring that every aspect of the theoretical framework has been thoroughly examined and understood, preparing us for any future challenges or deeper dives into the subject. Now we are looking at some different color mixes and combinations. Which eyebrow colors to use for different girls, with different eyes, hair and skin tones. We talked about working with older girls and women. By the way, the studio is really beautiful. It's so really interesting. I can't wait to actually try it out in practice. Right now I was practicing latex with the help of this machine, the pigment. And here my initial strokes, and I've already smudged a significant lot of them with my hands. So these are my very first attempts. Of course, there are still a considerable lot of mistakes. And here I was also carefully looking at pigments myself, meticulously blending the pigments. We've covered the entire theory. Now there will be a demonstration model. I'm already on my way. Now we'll have a demonstration model, preparing workstations, and another master will do the procedure here. I was unexpectedly given a truly wonderful little gift. Oh my dear girls, I am in complete and utter shock right now. Honestly, I genuinely never ever thought I would come to like it this incredibly much. And the outcome, the final culmination of all the dedicated efforts and meticulous attention to detail is truly nothing short of absolutely astonishing and profoundly impressive. The sheer quality and the remarkable impact of the finished product are genuinely breathtaking, demonstrating an exceptional level of craftsmanship and artistic vision. Furthermore, the entire journey, the intricate and often challenging process of creation itself, is incredibly fascinating and deeply rewarding. It involves a series of carefully considered steps and innovative approaches that contribute significantly to the overall excellence. Here we are observing something distinctly different. It's already a subtly yet significantly altered technique, a refined methodology that sets it apart from conventional methods. This particular approach incorporates unique elements and advanced principles, leading to a superior and more sophisticated result that truly stands out. The evolution in technique is evident, showcasing a progressive and highly effective method that elevates the entire endeavor to an entirely new level of sophistication and achievement. This remarkable transformation in methodology allows for an unparalleled degree of precision and artistic expression, culminating in a final product that not only meets but far exceeds all expectations, leaving a lasting impression of awe and admiration. The intricate details and the masterful execution are a testament to the innovative spirit and the relentless pursuit of perfection that define this particular creative endeavor. So I'm already done with this particular task, having successfully completed all the necessary steps and requirements that were outlined from the very beginning. It means I have completely finished everything that was expected of me at this precise moment in time, bringing the product to a satisfactory conclusion. Today I practiced my strokes and fixed the lower line. I absolutely can't get the lower line right when fixing it. There are always some seams showing up. So I've already bought a machine. I was given homework, and today I'll be practicing all the elements and blocks at home on latex by myself. And that cursed lower line that I just can't get right. And the corners that are supposed to imitate the tail of the brow. Right now I'm waiting for my friend, she lives in Moscow. And by the way, we even went to the same class together. Now we live in different places, but we still meet up and keep in touch from time to time, which is really great. So yes, we're friends. We've been really very good friends since the very first grade, of course. Well, maybe ever since second or third grade, something along those lines. You know, I'm 22 years old now, so it's pretty cool. So friends, I want to tell you about learning permanent makeup, how it's going for me and what's happening. Actually, right now, I haven't performed a single procedure on a model just yet. It genuinely seems to me like everything is perfectly clear and understandable so far, without any ambiguities. I understand that from the outside it always looks easy. I understand, for example, how it is for lash lamination instructors, how the girls look and think like, ugh, what are they doing with those lashes? But then when they start practicing, and then suddenly they realize that the lash placement doesn't work out. So I think it's going to be the same for me. But I think that overall, when I do strokes on latex, it turns out pretty well. So there's a chance that everything will work out fine for me too. They gave me this rather small bag. I am going to practice at home today, diligently doing the entire procedure on latex. This is my assigned homework and I need to complete it. For me, this is a special soap. The machine is in here. There's latex in there. Let me show you now what my homework looks like. Here, take a good look and you will clearly see that this is indeed my completed homework assignment. Here I need to fill all these things. For example, you can see here. It shouldn't be like this, especially not like that, that's terrible. Everything should be nice and even. And here I'll need to do triangles and fill in these shapes too. This is an imitation of the tip of the eyebrow, where we have this little triangle. This is what the needles look like. They are always single use, always changed before each client. And they're pink. And what's most interesting, the machine, okay, I won't take it out. Anyway, the machine is pink too, my favorite color. Sayana invited me to a cafe. She goes and orders some ice cream, even though it's winter. I'm like, well, why not? Let's do it. The waiter's like, yes, yes, of course. So the ice cream, it's small, and I just found out now that it actually costs 1,700. Probably that's about what a Sberbank employee makes these days. Not a department head though. Ice cream for 1,700. Can you believe it? The very first time I was at BDMK, I bought myself this delicious pastry called a tradelnik, a traditional sweet treat. I was informed that the pastry available was described as a delightfully sweet and truly delectable treat. Among the various tempting options, I specifically selected the one filled with rich creamy Nutella, a choice that promised a delightful indulgence. Today marks a significant milestone as it is my dedicated practical day, the third consecutive day of my intensive and comprehensive training program. This particular day is crucial for applying theoretical knowledge in a hands-on environment, building upon the foundational skills acquired during the initial 2 days of instruction. I'll be doing 2 significant procedures completely on my own, well, with the invaluable help of the instructor. We've just come for breakfast. This morning I was working on my homework, finishing it, practicing. That's precisely why I woke up promptly at 8 a.m. this morning, and then I began to, at precisely 12 o'clock in the afternoon, as the sun reached its zenith, I prepared myself for what was to be my very first practice session of the day. This was a moment I had been anticipating with a mixture of excitement and a touch of nervousness, knowing that each session was a crucial step in my development. Before immersing ourselves in the rigorous demands of the practice, it was our established and cherished routine, a ritual we adhered to without fail, to make a deliberate stop at the quaint and inviting cafe situated directly adjacent to the studio. This particular cafe, with its warm ambiance and the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee, served as a familiar and welcoming prelude to our intense training, offering a brief respite and the chance to gather our thoughts before the hard work began. The short walk from our starting point to the cafe and then just a few steps more to the studio was a journey filled with quiet anticipation, a small but significant part of our daily preparation. So we're eating, and I had my very first model. I did my very first set of eyebrows ever. Honestly, I really truly enjoyed it, but there's still definitely room for significant improvement. Of course, it wasn't without mistakes. The the instructor helped me, so I wasn't working completely on my own. But the second model, which I'm about to work on, I hope to do it more independently. I want to take into careful consideration the mistakes I made previously. Specifically, my significant mistakes were that sometimes during the procedure I was inserting the needle far too deeply. So this time around, I am determined to diligently avoid repeating that particular error. Well, friends, I just finished my permanent makeup training. Today I had 2 independent practice sessions. I was praised. First of all, I was told that overall my strokes are coming out well. And honestly, I thought so too. I won't be modest about it. They also highly praised me for my unwavering perseverance, because I diligently sat through 2 models and successfully completed the entire work. The instructor mentioned that very often girls tend to want to give up, easily get frustrated, and feel like nothing is truly working out for them. I've been in the beauty industry for 6 years, so I never experienced anything like that. I knew that, yes, starting out is hard. A new procedure is always, honestly, really tough. But the most important thing is just to get your hand used to it. I feel like there really isn't such a thing as a procedure that truly requires talent. Like, I don't know, some people are just born with it and others. No one is just born with it. Any procedure can be learned. The most important thing is simply time. I just love the brows I did today. The result is just absolutely amazing, and honestly, that's what matters most. The number one thing is to look at your instructor's work, because the technique and the results can be very different from permanent brows. I chose based on their work, and everyone's brows are so different. And it's important to understand what kind of brows you want to create, meaning which ones you personally like. For example, I saw works where the brows look super natural. It's like the effect where it seems like you haven't done anything to your brows at all. But for me, that's a bit too much. Like, if I went to get my brows done for 20,000 as a client and they gave me these natural brows that you can't even see, well, I'd be disappointed. Of course, there are also brows that are just over the top, really dark ones. That's not great either, of course. I chose my instructors specifically based on their work, and I was just absolutely thrilled. As I already mentioned, the results I got today, I'm honestly just shocked by them. I can't believe I did that. Yeah, I'm working on my first model. From time to time, the experienced instructor would often say things like, okay, you're applying the pigment perfectly here, but here you're going much too deep. You truly need to go significantly higher. And honestly, I couldn't feel the difference at all between when it was perfect and when it was too deep. So if the pigment goes too deep, that's really quite bad. There can be some pretty negative and undesirable consequences, but if you do everything correctly, as you absolutely should, permanent makeup typically lasts for about 1.5 years and then gradually fades away. And that's the right way. Permanent makeup that lasts 15 years is a mistake. You shouldn't do it that way, because it'll turn blue, black, green, anything but a beautiful brown. Proper permanent makeup fades after 1.5 years, a year or two, something like that. So with my first model, I couldn't feel the difference at all. Sometimes it was quite good, and sometimes it was rather bad. But with the second one, I really started to truly feel it, exactly how the machine should properly vibrate and what distinct sounds it makes when I insert the needle just a little too deep. It's such an absolutely amazing feeling. While working on the second model, I was just sitting there enjoying the moment, thinking, wow, I get it now. I finally understood it. Of course, I'm sure there's still a lot ahead of me. There are still so many moments like that ahead because I've only worked on 2 models so far. I've already picked up all the necessary materials for permanent makeup. I came home and everything had already arrived. I ordered from Ozon and Wildberries. Misha is helping me carry everything. In total, I spent 23,000 on Wildberries. I spent 15,000 on Ozon, but not everything has arrived yet. And I bought the machine separately. So little by little, the rest of the necessary materials will gradually arrive, and then I'll be able to finally start looking for my very first models. Well, my dear friends, it's been exactly 24 full hours since my intensive permanent makeup training, and I'm truly ready to share my initial thoughts and genuine emotions. The first thing I want to talk about is the training itself. When I chose the course, as I already mentioned, I picked it based on the overall quality of the work, but there was one significant thing that truly concerned me. I was worried that 2 practice sessions simply wouldn't be enough for me to really thoroughly learn. Basically, this is how any training goes, not just for permanent makeup, but for any procedure in general. When I was learning eyelash extensions, it was exactly the same for me. First, you go through the theory, then there's a demonstration on a model, which means you just stand and watch while the instructor performs the entire procedure from start to finish. After that, you will have your very own hands-on practice sessions. Models will come in and you will perform the entire procedure yourself with the instructor's direct help and full support. And I was afraid that 2 models wouldn't be enough for me. I even wrote and asked if I could pay extra to get a chance to practice on another model. But in reality, 2 practice sessions were absolutely enough for me. Since I'm already professional, I already have my own studio and a treatment bed. I've had this bed for about 5 years. I bought it back in 2019 when I was studying eyelash extensions. This treatment bed is actually very budget friendly. At the time, it cost 5,000 rubles. This is what the mattress looks like. It's incredibly soft. Honestly, I can recommend this mattress. So when I do eyelash extensions, I just sit right here. Like this. The client's head is right here. But look, there's a nuance when it comes to permanent makeup. During the process, you constantly have to move around. You have to sit on this side for a while, then move to the other side. I'll definitely have to buy a comfortable chair with wheels. As for my genuine feelings about the entire procedure, I'm honestly absolutely thrilled. Honestly, I even thought it would be much harder for me to work on models and perform the permanent makeup procedure, but it turned out to be quite manageable. But I really think I'm doing very well indeed. I think it also helps that I'm already a professional. At the very least, I am certainly not afraid to personally work with clients in person, providing dedicated and direct support. I don't have any fear of working directly with people. Let me know in the comments if you'd like a separate video about how I find models, how I practice, where I'll show my first works, maybe even my first mistakes. Work that I did completely on my own, without a teacher by my side. That's always the hardest and the most interesting part. So, do you want a follow-up video about my journey with permanent makeup? Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that.